Hi guys, welcome back. Classic Rock Wednesday. I may have said Tuesday on Monday's episode. You know it's Wednesday. It's been that way for 4 years, man. Anyways, today another first. One of the queens of rock music. It's Linda Ronstadt. Now, I've been listening to Linda Ronstadt for years. I can remember seeing her at Midnight Special, Don Kirshner's rock concert. Goodness gracious, back in the late 60s, I had Stone Ponies doing different drum. Yeah, I've been a Linda Ronstadt fan for years, but never really bought one of her records. Now, of course, this is during the time when I didn't have a lot of cash back then. Still in high school. You could only buy so many records, and there was just so much out there. So it was later 70s that I picked up this one. This was my first actual Ronstadt album. It was Living in the USA. On Asylum Records. I think it was recorded about 1978. I'm just going to double check the date for you here. May and July 1978 was the recording. And this one, a lot of the great session players on here as well. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Immediate Family, but you'll hear some of the same names on there. Surprisingly, my buddy Lee Scalar isn't playing with her now because he did do a lot of recording with Linda later on. But Waddy Wachell is on here doing a lot of guitar playing. Now, one other thing that was unique about this, and a few albums were doing this in this stage, this is late 70s, something had come out, a processing unit called the Aphex Oral Exciter. And this is something that, with the studio tapes, they were starting to lose some of their top end. Tapes were deteriorating, things weren't working, and they came up with this module that allowed them to put more life back into the music, more high end, more sparkle. And a number of artists used this. Zeppelin did, Paul McCartney did, Linda Ronstadt often did, and they advertised on the album that they were actually using this unit. And again, it gave the album a whole different kind of sound, and it was something that was really big. I don't know if it's still in use now, but back in the late 70s, it was certainly a little coup having that. Just give you a look at the album jacket, gatefold kind. Got a little photo inside, if you can see, and I don't know if you can see it very well in there. There's the band with her. They're all at Herbs here getting food late at night, it appears. So not a lot of information in there, but hey, nice photo. Now, produced by Peter Asher. Did a lot of her albums. Peter and Gordon. He's still getting recognized as a great producer, and he did do some excellent albums. Now, this album, some other guests on here as well. We've got David Sanborn doing a couple of sax solos. The one on the song Allison that we'll talk about, excellent solo. Not a lot going on in it, but I'll tell you, he picks all the right notes and does all the right things with them. It's just great. This one, a good cross-section again. Now, Linda doesn't write any material. She's just singing other people's songs, but boy, when she puts a spin on it, she puts a spin on it. Starting out with Chuck Berry, Back in the USA. Great tune. If you remember, we talked about Chuck Berry, the Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll video in the album. She recorded it on there as well, this Back in the USA. A little different take on it, and Chuck Berry is blown away. When I Grow Too Old to Dream, Oscar Hammerstein. This one, a great tune. Vibe solo in there. I'm just going to give the guy's name here, Mike Manieri. He does excellent solo on vibes. It's just perfect. I've got Don Golnick on keyboards. The other one, I forgot to tell you, we had Doug Duckmore and Waddy Wachell on there. We got Kenny Edwards on bass, Russell Kunkel on drums, and Kunkel does a lot of the drum stuff on here, and I'll go one of the Immediate Family, one of the core bands that were backup bands in LA. Just One Look, the old rock tune. We've got Allison, Elvis Costello. Her first branching into new wave kind of music. Another album down the road, Mad Love, she does a couple more Elvis Costello tunes. Now, Elvis wasn't really very complimentary of what she was doing, but her version of Allison, great job. Sax man, Sanborn, excellent solo on that. Just enough to really bring that together. And again, one of my favorites here, J.D. Souther, White Rhythm and Blues. Another tune. J.D. didn't get a lot of airplay. He had a couple of tunes you might recognize. He wrote for other people, but when Ronstadt recorded his tunes. They were just excellent. Him and Warren Zevon. She had a lot of great luck with the two of them. Side 2, we've got All That You Dream. We've got Oh Baby Baby, another old Smokey Robinson tune on there. We've got Mohammed's Radio. There we are, Warren Zevon. I mean, Tumbling Dice. I don't know, Tumbling Dice. Yeah, we'll stick with, no, that was Rolling Stones. Didn't want Tumbling Dice in there. Mohammed's Radio, and she had another big hit from Warren Zevon that'll come to me in a minute. I thought it was Tumbling Dice, but I'm mixing that up with Richards and Jagger. Blown Away and Love Me Tender, the old Elvis Presley tune to wrap it up with. I mean, we've talked about Linda Ronstadt on the show a couple of times. The mix on the album, we're going from old rock and roll, we're going from Chuck Berry to Elvis Presley, we got modern day age with Elvis Costello, we got some classics from Zevon and Southern. I mean, it's just a great album overall, and I found every song on it was really something special. And some of the arrangements are just perfect. Great backup band. Nothing bad I can say about this album. Now, sometimes you're thinking, well, first album, the first exposure, yeah, that's one you like best. Hey, I've been listening to her stuff for years. This is the first one I actually bought. And I'll tell you, out of all the ones I have, I think this is the one that's the most consistent across both sides, all the tracks, everything just works. Linda Ronstadt, Living in the USA, 1978. My first Linda Ronstadt album. Okay, that's it for today. We're back with Video Friday. Coming up, another concert. This one a little different. We're going back to jazz again. We haven't done a jazz video, but this is a guy that you never got a chance to see. I mean, it was so rare when you got to see him. We're capturing him on video for you. We'll see you on Friday. We'll check that out. Till then, everybody take care. Stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.